And we are live! It is showtime! Hello, people! Hello, maniacs! Hello, subscribers of Killbot and Thach, the greatest metal channel, yay! The greatest channel of all time. Your favorite. There may not have been much activity in the year of 2025, but we're gonna end on a good note. Now, check this out. I'm going all out, got my makeup going. I'm looking really sexy, but this is only the beginning, folks. This is only the beginning. We're waiting for people to come on in. We got I Hate My Life 666. Hello, Mr. Tony Iommi. Oh, yeah. Got my left-handed guitars right here. Hell, we're going to talk about some Black Sabbath tonight. Let's see. Butchered at Birth. I just pierced my labret. Cool. Awesome. Chair 3439. Hi, how's it going? Now, got about 18 people in here right now. Let's make this a little interesting, shall we? Let's see. Ryder Belanger. Let's see, says hello. Damon Cranell 156. Hi, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Got a lot of people coming in here. And let's get the show on the road, shall we? Got a little surprise for all you people. See how good this looks. Oh yeah, now we gotta turn this guy on right here. We're gonna light this guy up. Sweet salty caramel. Because I love to have a candle. We're gonna vibe, and we're gonna vibe hard tonight. It's going to be a high energy stream, but it's going to come with a lot of Riz, and the Riz is going to come from yours truly. And we already got a fucking super chat, $20 from Layla Lover, super sticker. Hey, thank you so much, Layla. Thank you. Yeah, check this out. So we're going to do the little wizard robe that I had slightly altered before the stream on account of the last night at the Wicked Witch. I actually ripped the string off it. Now check this out. So, yeah, I put some black lights up in my room pretty recently. It was an awesome purchase. Check this out. Sisters of Suffocation shirt. Gotta rep them because this shirt kind of glows a little bit. Let's see, skinny puppy pendant over here. Wizard outfit. Got the vibes, and I don't know if you can see the... Actually, no. Hide current comment. Oh, yeah, so now you can see the little glowing mushrooms. Hell yeah. Make sure the camera is nice and focused. Yeah. Very cool stuff. We got the vibes going on now. Hell yeah. You know, I really wish I put these lights up in this room years ago. What I did, I got these 2-foot bar lights that connect with each other. Got them on Amazon. Okay, the problem with this robe, and the reason I want another one, is because my necklaces, my hair, all gets caught in it. So, let's do this. Oh, and I have a hard time finding the sleeves. So, here we go. Let my hair down a little bit. And here we are. Here we are. December 19th, 2025. 6:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh yeah, I wanted to do something special for this stream, and we got some surprises for everybody. So we got 36 people in here. Let's answer some of these comments. Let's see. Chair, Tony in the Shadows. I did watch some Todd in the Shadows not too long ago. The fit looks good. Thank you so much. Butchered at Birth says I'll be in my blue room. Nice. I'm turning my room blue, so we're matching. Let's see. Count Vok 93.3. What's up, man? I have a band called Lead Injector. We released our first single today. Hails from Germany. Well, congratulations on your single. And Germany's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind having some of that chocolate. Let's turn the fan on a little bit, as it is kind of warm in here. And you know, it's it's really cool about the black lights. It's such a little thing. Like, before I got the black lights, I had this candle, and I would just turn the lights off and listen to music. But lately, like, this whole setup is how I've been listening to music lately. So, in the morning, I'd wake up, I'd get up before the sun comes up, and before the light could shine through the windows, This is how I've been waking up the past couple days. It's been nice. This morning I woke up to some Killing Joke, the Nighttime album. Also some AC/DC the other night. Like, I know AC/DC isn't exactly a blacklight band, but I've been rediscovering my love for them, kind of. I was obsessed with them when I was 10 years old. For those about to rock! Fire! Poison Girl, hello. Your lips are filled with poison. Yeah, man. I really wish copyright wasn't so much of an issue on YouTube because, man, I'd be doing so much karaoke tonight. Let's see. Owen C. Hey, Tony, how are you tonight? I'm in good spirits. Type shit, Killbot. Okay. Shit. Ever heard of a Canadian band called Dahmer? Nah. Swag, damn right. Michael C. Got back from school, started Christmas break. Glad to see your stream, Killbot. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Layla Lover equals Adam B equals Unbaptized Records. Aw, thank you, Adam. Hey, we're going to be talking about Unbaptized tonight because I mentioned that there were some surprises. Well, an upcoming compilation coming out on Unbaptized Records of Killbot and Gorgor Thach music. Yeah. Hand-picked songs from 2017 onward, plus one brand new one. We have a really fucking awesome artwork that was commissioned by a gentleman named Austin Hunt, also known as Odd Goofin on Instagram. I can't wait till I can show you guys this artwork. Adam and I still gotta talk about when we're gonna start promoting this thing, when this thing's gonna come out. But basically, the files are done, the cover artwork's done, and by the way, Adam, I updated those Dropbox files, so when you send the stuff to your guy, it's updated. But yeah, you know, we're going to have to do pre-orders, we're going to have to set up interviews, promotional stuff. We're going to press a few hundred copies of this thing. I can already tell you that there is one brand new song that none of you have ever heard before, made specifically for this release. It is called The Rolling Mass, and it is a really fucking heavy song. So, yeah, I go all out with the guitar solos and the guitar tone and everything. It's, yeah, so basically all the songs have been remastered, many have been remixed. Now, the contents of the songs themselves have been absolutely untouched. Nothing has been re-recorded, nothing has been taken away, nothing has been added to. Just, you know, EQ changes, plug-in changes, so that way the guitars don't sound like blown-out assholes, you know, particularly after a visit to Golden Corral. You know, so songs like Downstream, where the guitars sound kind of weird, well, the guitars are roaring this time. So I can't wait for you all to hear it. I can't wait for you all to see the artwork. And something we're definitely going to run with is that no AI bullshit came anywhere near this artwork. Okay? I commissioned Austin Hunt to do the artwork for this album, and I paid him money. He did this digital artwork on the iPad, and it fucking rocks, man. Like, he did it in just a few hours. Like, it took a few little minor alterations because, you know, you tend to notice little things as time goes on. It's like, oh, this is awesome. Then the next day it's like, okay, so the corner of that L is a little bright to be in the shadows. You know, just little things like that. But, hey, a real artist made this, and hey, I made this. All of these are songs that I wrote, produced, performed, all on my own. Some of them have sampled drums. Some of them have real drums. You know, my production style's changed over the years, and the goal of this release is to get the songs to sound consistent with each other, as far as volume, as far as EQ. I spent a good portion of this year just preparing these songs for the release, and I can't wait to see how many people love this. Let's see, Layla Lover, another $2. Screw AI. Screw AI indeed. Hey, Christy McDonald. Hey, sweetheart, what's up? Yeah, glad to see you here. Oscar 80s Metal. Goth band Big Electric Cat. Oh, yeah. Gigi Richie. Hi, Tony. Hi, Gigi. How you doing? Yeah. Glad you could make it. Let's see. David Love. Good evening. Long time no see. Indeed. Trying to fix that. It's been a really hard year for me. It's been a hard year for a lot of people, but we may get to that. Just finished wrapping Christmas presents, so now I can relax. Awesome, Tom Sanderson. Awesome. Lar Squirrel, hello, you use StreamYard? Cool. I use that back when I messed with a podcast. Yeah, YouTube also has their own streaming app, service, whatever you want to call it. And I used to use that one, but something changed and StreamYard eventually was easier to use. Somebody I used to talk to actually got me onto it. So, why don't we start talking about some things? Wouldn't miss this for anything. Oh, thank you, Christy. I don't want to miss a thing. So, not only are we announcing this album, but perhaps you guys will get to hear snippets of some upcoming music. And I really hope the camera doesn't focus the whole stream. I can't control it. Sorry. But let's have some fun tonight. You look amazing, Naughty Wizard. Oh, well, I'm not the slutty wizard tonight. See, I got a shirt underneath, but, now, for those who saw my Lords of Acid video over the summer, simply titled Following Lords of Acid on Tour, you know what she's talking about here. Okay? The Slutty Wizard, where I dress up in a wizard robe and a lady's thong, and go hang out with Lords of Acid in Cleveland. Oh boy, that was a wild show. I can't believe I put that on the internet. Okay, let me lower the screen here. Now, I'll tell you what I did yet. Now, I went to Spencer's recently at the mall, and I'll talk about the mall trip in a minute because it's pretty awesome, but check this out. So, got these UV mushroom pasties that react in the black light, and I got some black lights that look really fucking awesome. Man, these black lights, they're awesome in general, but I can't wait to wear those. But speaking of black lights, and speaking of things that glow, so check this shit out. So as soon as I fired these black lights up after I installed them, turns out 2 of my CDs that I have in my collection, turns out they glow, and they glowed on the CD towers. Like, I didn't even know they glowed. So, we have Lords of Acid, Voodoo U. Here's the original artwork. Even the disc itself is fluorescent. So, I fired this up and listened to some of this in this setting. And that must have been how people listened to that album back in the 90s. You know, with some black lights going. Maybe with some substances involved, but we're not going to talk about that here. And we got Specimen. Wet, Warm, Cling Film, Red Velvet Crush. The title of this album really rolls off your tongue, but check this out, man. It looks radioactive. And this is the Cleopatra version, okay? It's like, I know they re-released it in 2001 with a standard jewel case. I don't know if all the Cleopatra ones come with a green case, or if this is something the seller sent me, but this is just fucking cool. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang! Yeah, so cool. Oh. Man, the visuals of this stream are just wild. Oh, I love this. Okay, so, let's get back to the comments. Cone Taylor Metalhead, I think I said that correctly. Hey Tony, huge fan of your content, been watching for a few years, been in a few of your streams, keep up the great content. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to have people who still want to watch my stuff, because guess what? Despite my slowdown this year, and my inactivity this year, I ain't going anywhere. You fuckers are stuck with me. We're gonna try to turn it around in 2026. It's been a really hard year for me. My cat died. My grandmother got stage 1 breast cancer, which thankfully got removed. Grandfather's got dementia. Car issues. Money issues at different points, but we're not going to get to that. And of course, just being stressed and overwhelmed with the state of the world and the responsibilities, partly just the last few videos and how difficult they were to make. The grueling task of remixing and remastering all these songs for this upcoming CD release. I am never, ever going to be remixing or remastering these songs ever again. This album is going to come out, and that is going to be the last time I touch them. Now, I'm not going to disown them, necessarily. I'm just not going to work on them ever again. A couple of years ago, I did Tales from the Tube. It was a digital compilation with all my music up to that point. This is going to be Tales from the Tube on steroids. The songs are going to sound even better. All the songs that got released after Tales from the Tube are going to be included. Plus, like I said, there's going to be a brand new one. So, you got Limerence, you got Mushroom Song, you got Crossed Wires, and you have the Rolling Mass. So, some new stuff since last time. It's like an updated version, but a reason to update. But we're not going to go lazy with it either. We're going to have cool CD packaging. We might even have patches. We'll have t-shirts. We'll have stickers. We'll have signed editions. And, you know, Adam and I might talk about a glow-in-the-dark version since I'm talking about glow-in-the-dark things. I don't know. We'll see. Hell yeah, on the album, Tony. Working on my next album currently. Wishing you the best, man. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that's another thing that I want to get into. So, I've been playing music since I was 10 years old. I turned 30 recently, a couple weeks ago. And I've been thinking, you know, I've been doing YouTube for all this time, and I would really love to do music. My next music is going to probably be industrial. Or industrial metal. I'm thinking maybe do like some sort of darkly inclined project that has all of my influences, all the things that I listen to. So, excuse me. It's going to have metal. It's going to have industrial. It might even have a little rock and roll. It's going to have goth stuff. You know, all the stuff I've been listening to the past year, 2 years, especially, you know, I've been leaning real heavy into the dark wave stuff. That's going to be part of the project, and might even be a concept album. I have a really good idea for an industrial concept album. Not going to reveal anything yet. Love the Slutty Wizard. Yep, me too. Christy says, it's a sign from the universe. You need more Lords of Acid in your life. Yes, I do. Young boys. Thomas Anderson, sorry to hear about your cat. She lived a good life. She was 17 years old. Jezebel, she had a tumor on her forehead. And at some point, she just had to be put down. But she had a great life. She was loved. I gave her a lot of table scraps when I shouldn't have. And, you know, that's really the best you can do for your animals. You know, you see them every day, no matter what situation you're in, who you're with, as far as your relationship goes, what job you're working, what happens that day. Your cat, you see every day. They're your family. But one day, you're going to have to deal with the day they go. That sucks. And, you know, like, you can do all you can to mentally prepare yourself and be like, oh, it's just their time. Every creature has to go. But, you know, you're not going to be prepared sometimes. Rachel Hannah, how you doing? Okay, is that how... I'm just fucking up your name because of the spelling, I think. Rachel Hannah, hi, how you doing? I got another friend named Rachel Hannah, so... You're doing all the great things. I'm proud of you. Thank you. How many times have you visited McKay's? I do it often. Okay, Vampire Loser. What do you think I should learn on guitar? I think you should get Troy Nelson's Guitar Aerobics. It's a handbook full of exercises. If you go through that thing backwards and forwards, you're going to be a fucking masterpiece. You're going to be a fucking madman. So, have fun. Watching the streams while getting ready for bed. Awesome. Shroom Song on the next album? Yes, Mark Lambert. Mushroom Song, both versions are going to be on Long Live the Kill. My song, Mushroom Song, it was the last song that I released. It was in September of last year. There were two versions. There was the music video edit, which made it onto YouTube. And, of course, there's the long version for when you're stoned out of your fucking mind. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I was listening to a lot of Caius and High on Fire at the time, so, yeah. ADHD Seed, how do you feel about Melt Bandana and Weed? I have not heard of Melt Bandana. I have heard of Ween. I said Weed a minute ago. Ween, I have heard of Ween. Actually, a friend of mine designs their albums. Okay, I'm just going to take this hood off. This is a pain in the ass. But, yeah, Ween is pretty cool. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of AC/DC as I've rediscovered my love for them. But let's talk about some metal. I know that a lot of you want to hear what I think is the metal album of 2025. Honestly, Castle Rat. Castle Rat, they released an album called Bestiary, and it is fucking awesome. Now, they're a smaller band. They're going to be opening soon for... Metalocalypse, Deathclock, and Monomarth. It's going to be a really awesome tour. They played at Chapel of Bones a couple months ago, and for some reason I just didn't go to that, but they are a very fun band. They're like 70s inspired doom metal, like Pentagram kind of. It's got that real fuzz. But it's based on medieval stuff. So it's a woman-fronted band, because some people think that's important, I guess. Her name is Riley, and she fucking rocks. They've had 2 albums. And I think they're gonna blow up. I really think they're gonna blow up, and I'm gonna be happy to see it because they deserve it. It's kind of like if Ghost stayed heavy and stayed murky like in the early days. I hadn't even heard the new Ghost album, you know that? And I like Ghost, I really do. I don't know what happened. They didn't lose me. It's just Ghost now is just different to me than what they used to be. It's a different animal. Okay, so another great album that came out this year, Rivers of Nile, or Rivers of Nile, some of you pronounce it differently. It's a self-titled album. I saw them play it in its entirety when they opened for Navel of Ascaris, and it was really excellent. Fun fact about that show, so that show happened in early November, and the lights were so heavy during Rivers set that somebody had a seizure, and they had to be carried out of the venue. Now, it looked to me like they toned down the lights when that happened, but man, like these lights and seizures, like when you go to concerts and they have these big strobing lights, that's kind of a dangerous thing. Anyway. Mr. Dark Mayor Metal, going gothic, that's nice. Well, I mean, I got some black lights and I got these candles going. And actually, if I take your comment off here, you can see the glowing mushrooms that I have suction cupped onto the top of the monitor. So, yeah. Red cup. Oh, you mean the peeing in the red cup, yes. Looking forward to your new songs. Why, thank you. Hey, you should include Kiss My Pussy in one of your new songs. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see, favorite song from Sound of Perseverance, Voice of the Soul. Okay, we've been doing this for 22 minutes, so let's see. What band do you want to see live in 2026? I really want to see Fields of the Nephilim. So, Castle Rat's playing, Julian Kay's coming to Chapel of Bones. Fields of the Nephilim, they're going to play some shows, and I really want to go see them. Like, they're probably the goth band I want to see. Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas Special is free on YouTube now. I'm not sorry! Thomas 17. Hey, good evening, Tony. Yes. Shitting in red cups, yes. So, why don't we talk about some things that have been going on lately? Well, first of all, my guy Dan, my friend Dan, he got me this really awesome coffee cup. And I'm actually going to turn the lights on for a second just so you can see it. Okay, so I'm a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and that's one of the things we bond over. And here we go, Kiss the Librarian. Remember the episode where Spike is tied up in the bathtub and they feed him blood from the Kiss the Librarian cup? Well, yeah. And then in the Hush episode, when he, like, drinks from it, turns into a vampire briefly, like, gets the vamp face, and then Xander walks in, he thinks that Spike killed Anya, whatever. And hey, this is going good because I got this coffee from Chapel of Bones. I was talking about Chapel of Bones a minute ago. This roast is called Brugeria. That's right. North Carolina's metal coffee shop. That is a coffee shop by day, metal venue by night. And it is awesome. It smells really good. I've been doing a lot of French press coffee lately because French press really brings out the flavor of the coffee. Life is too short to be drinking shitty coffee. Like, I'm fine with Maxwell House. Like, if it's freshly brewed, I'm okay with it. But it's not great coffee. Like, no. You want great coffee? Like, whole bean. Grind it up. Put it in a French press. It brings out the fragrance too, and hey, the smell of coffee in the morning is real nice. So, you know, a little smell of coffee and a little bit of this vibe in the morning. We be jamming. Neon Bat, hello. Shluka. Thomas 17. On Monday, I saw both Terrorizer and Possessed live. My last show from the year. It was a blast. It can contain about 300 people max. I was in the first row. Yeah, I'm sure that they probably had to put the barrier far away from the stage so that way Jeff would stay away from the kids. You know, that way no little Mexican babies are conceived at the shows. God, that's terrible. Let's see, love hurts, so does anal. Doesn't have to. Anyway. I was seeing Castle Rat this summer at Sonic Temple, I don't know. Shluka. Yeah, so there was a movie that I was watching recently. It was called Anora. It's a movie about this stripper in New York who marries the son of this Russian oligarch who's staying in New York. Turns out it's his father's mansion, but he doesn't tell her that. So she thinks she's married into this big, rich lifestyle. It just fell into her lap. She got lucky, but it turned out that it was all his father's shit. The guy married her for a green card, and they spend most of the movie, like, trying to get the marriage annulled. Like, the Russian oligarch, they fly in from Russia, get it annulled. But anyway, the guy's godfather, he's speaking in Russia over the phone on the way to the mansion. Oh yes, we're going to take you, and that Shluka's gonna come with us so we can get it annulled. Shluka! I was like, oh, Shluka! I know that word. It's Hungarian for whore. And Russian for whore, apparently. Look who's back again. Oh yeah. Mad Pigeon, what is a band that you want to see live that isn't around anymore? The original Ramones. Like, I saw Marky Ramones Blitzkrieg last year in New York City and had a great time. If you squint, the front man looks a bit like Joey Ramone. You know, he's got the leather jacket, he's tall, he's got the hair. But, like, the real Ramones, I heard that shit was legendary. And you know what? The Butthole Surfers from the 80s? Yeah, the 80s shows in particular. Oh, the Residents from the 80s. Ooh! And Talking Heads on the Stop Making Sense tour. Ugh. Man, I would have seen so many fucking... Oh, 9 Inch Nails on the Self-Destruct tour and the With Teeth tour. Man, could you imagine, like, being in the front row for that shit? I was in the front row for the B stage of this past tour that they just did, and it was wild, man. Like, curtain dropped, Trent Reznor was 15 feet away from me. My hero, as close to the man as I'm ever going to get in my life. And he opens it up with Right Where It Belongs. He was so into the performance that it looked like he was tearing up a little bit. I was like, it's okay, man. God, I love that man. I would really love to have a coffee with him someday. You know, and we'll have conversations that won't be recorded, won't be posted anywhere. Just, they'll stay between the man and myself. The Blue, make more dystopia videos. They're amazing. Hey, I might do that. Hey, Denisha Freeman! Hey, how you doing? Hey, it's really good to see you. Glad to always have you in these streams. I can always count on you. You rule. And hey, next time I'm in Massachusetts, we're gonna get fucking coffee. Now, I know things got kind of weird with Long Island last year. You know, I just kind of ran out of time. I was kind of spread thin, trying to coordinate visits and hangouts with different people, but we're gonna do it next time. So... ADHDC, they got a horrible remaster of Master of Reality. Sounds horrible. Booklet's just a single piece of paper. Not to mention the disc says Masters of Reality, not Masters. Okay, I think typo at the end. Get the 2009 Deluxe Edition. It is remastered by a gentleman named Andy Pierce. He also remastered a couple of the Dio-era Sabbath albums, and it is incredible. Best sounding version of Master of Reality you're ever going to hear. It is wonderful. Just got a copy of Body Counts, self-titled, and instantly thought of you. Oh, did you get the one with Cop Killer on it, or does it have freedom of speech? You know, a couple years ago was the 30th anniversary of that album. They could have easily remastered and re-released it, like in some deluxe package. I wonder why they didn't do it. Because, like, Ice-T, as far as I know, he owns the rights to that album. Happy holidays, Killbot. Thank you. Rock, 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 rock and roll high school. Well, I don't care about history. Yeah, anyway, so how about this Rick Beato video that came out pretty recently? Everybody's shitting all over Rick Beato saying, oh, Rick's an idiot! Rick's out of touch! Rick doesn't know what he's talking about! Okay, so the video I'm referring to, it's a video he posted called, "Where Have All the Metalheads Gone?" Well, basically in the video, he compares the Spotify stats of old legend bands like Metallica, Ghost, well, if you want to call them old, Black Sabbath, Linkin Park, like bands that have like some of the songs have hit like the billion listen ranges, okay? And the big metal bands of the last 10 and 15 years, some of them have millions of listens, but they don't have as many listens as the bands that he had mentioned, like, you know, Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth. All over Rick over it, I don't think it's necessarily warranted. Now, I think his assessment of how he came to his conclusion is not one that I would use. Because the thing with the big Spotify listens, a lot of those listens are younger people who are listening to it because their parents got into it. And also, you gotta remember, their parents bought CDs and records and tapes. Like, you ever wonder how some of these albums sell so many copies? Is because they keep getting reissued to death on different formats. And in the case of newer music, a lot of people just refuse to use Spotify. So Spotify is not exactly an accurate number. You know, you can also count YouTube, you can count Bandcamp, and, you know, some people purchase physical media. Now, I will grant him this, it does seem like music is playing less of an important role in people's lives, and I hate it. Let me turn this down so that way the battery lasts a little longer. All right, we're on 68% here, so we're good. You know, the past year I've watched AI replace a lot of jobs. I've seen a lot of AI artworks on major bands' albums coming out from major labels and indie labels and small labels. You know, labels that aren't exactly the biggest in the world, but they're big enough that they ought to know better. Like that fucking Dream Theater artwork that came out this year. You guys see that? Like, if you look at the ridges on each side of the window, it's like there are a different number of ridges on the right side as there are the left side. Yeah, that's some nonsense. And then you got fucking Cleopatra trying to do an AI recreation of Steve Bader's voice on a new Dead Boys album. I don't know if it came out yet or not, but I just... It's a little bit of a terrifying thought, you know, thinking that a lot of us might get replaced. You know, what it's doing is it's devaluing the people who do this shit for a living and built the skills. You know, like AI, I think in certain situations it could be a useful tool, but like people are using it to replace art and artistry. You know? And it's bad for the environment. You know, there are all sorts of articles written on, you know, the water resources that are being polluted and used up from these AI camps and these AI bases, and that really sucks. So that's something I wanted to be sure that when this album comes out, there's no AI involved. So, I hate AI too, but sadly it's the future. We'll see. You know, I think the bubble might burst in a couple of years because a lot of these big tech companies are investing big bucks, like billions of dollars into AI stuff, and I think it's gonna oversaturate, and I think people are just gonna have enough of it. You know, and this is what happens when things go unregulated and laws are made by people who frankly don't understand how the internet works or how anything for that matter works. But let's not get too political here because, you know, we're trying to keep this light. Anyway, Killbot merch. I have a Killbot t-shirt right here. This is the classic face shirt. There's the Grind On shirt. Also, you can buy these on Amazon. You can buy them on my Bandcamp. I believe that there are links on the YouTube video that you can buy them from. You can also buy them directly from me if you message me on social media. I usually charge about $20 plus shipping. And you can even have backs on some of them if you want. Let's see, I also have patches and stickers. The patches go for $6.66 a piece, free shipping anywhere in the world. You name the place, you give me your PayPal, you give me your Venmo, and I will mail it to you. $6.66. The Killbot and Gorgor Thach logo. It's a nice embroidered patch that was made by the same gentleman who does the merch for Goat Whore. Hell yeah. Good shit. I almost bought a Deicide album that has AI artwork. The music is fine, but I bought Venom and Battery. Well, that's the position that a lot of people are in. You know, like, Cannibal Corpse have used Vincent Locke for most of their albums throughout their career. Can you imagine if Cannibal Corpse went from Vincent to AI? Wouldn't that be some shit? I couldn't imagine the outrage. Like, Deicide already pisses off a lot of their fans by doing different things. Like, I love Deicide, but let's call it what it is. If Cannibal Corpse did it, heads would roll. If Metallica did it, heads would roll. And this AI shit is everywhere. It's not just in music. We're talking Hollywood movies, TV shows, YouTube. You know, they have the little AI tools like to help you come up with ideas for videos. And I think in the editors they have different AI stuff, but it sucks like fuck. Are you gonna do a video on Deicide, like a retrospective or an opinion on the bands or albums? Currently I own everything up to the Stench of Redemption. If I ever fill out the collection, I will do so. But I want to be sure that people actually watch the video, because the last 2 or 3 videos didn't really do that good as far as views go. And that's something I hope that maybe I can correct with this live stream. I don't blame the audience for it, I blame the platform. Because, you know, it demands consistency at all times. It demands big videos, big long videos, often. And people really don't understand how much work it is for one person. Like, all these big YouTubers, they have teams of editors, teams of writers, publicists, people who work on the social media. I am one person doing everything. Shooting, editing, writing, uploading. And then the fucking title of the video has to be perfect. The thumbnail of the video has to be perfect, or it's going to get buried in the algorithm. I mean, even the damn file name has to be perfect, like, for the algorithm, because apparently the algorithm factors in the file name. I mean, it's really harsh. You fuck up once and you're done. And in the case of my last video, dude, I uploaded that fucking thing, and for the first 6 hours, my comment section, nobody could see it. Like, people were leaving comments on the video, but you couldn't see the comments. Even I couldn't see the comments. I couldn't see my own comments that I left on my own video. Isn't that a bunch of bull shit? Bull fucking shit? Shit from a bull? It sucks my fuck. It runs in the muck. Nunchuck. Stupid cuck. Hockey puck. Dick tuck. I'd rather listen to KMFDM's How Ruck than deal with that shit. Yeah, so I came up with this beautiful video. Beautiful, amazing, wonderful video. And the fucking comment section was disengaged, which means the engagement was dead on arrival, which means the video was dead on arrival. And on my part, I guess I could have titled it with the title I have it on currently. The video is titled, How the Wicked Witch Made the North Carolina Goth Scene Less Miserable. I have a flyer from the Wicked Witch that I took before the place closed. The Wicked Witch, of course, was the famous goth club in North Carolina that had opened in 2017 and closed last month. The final night was on November 1st, and hell was raised. Admittedly, I raised a little myself. You know, the place changed my life a little bit in a few different ways. I met a lot of really incredible people. And it introduced me to a lot of good music, you know? Like, for what, I love exploring. I love learning new things. I love learning about music, and it's been really great music to learn about, you know? It's been a nice rabbit hole. And you know, the people there are important to me. I've been hanging out with them for a couple of years now. You know, been getting invited to little house parties and little gatherings outside of the club. I never really got invited to stuff like that with the metal scene. And I've been listening to metal for 16 years. You know, like with the metalheads here anyway, I don't know, maybe it's different in other parts of the country, but you know, the metal scene here, everybody tends to just see each other at shows and then nobody really goes and does things. You know, like the extent of it is, you know, you go to the shows, you see them, and unless you're good personal friends with them, like you have their phone number, you text them all the time, you're probably not going to hang out with them that often. At least I didn't get invited to hang out that often. But lately that's been changing because, you know, Chapel of Bones, they've been doing the metal meetups. You know, just during the daytime, if you're a metalhead, go to the coffee shop, say hi to each other or whatever. There's metal yoga, that type thing. But, you know, I started going to this club and they basically took me in. It was nice. And pretty recently, I'm going to show you this picture. And I'm going to turn the light on for this picture too. I got invited to do one of those goth Santas at the mall, so yeah, you can see me in the middle there. I look pissed. It was sort of a last minute invite, but I was like, hell yeah, I'll go. So yeah, got invited. It was like 26 of us, I think, in the picture, and Santa was so gracious and so giving. You know, he was hugging people. I hugged him and I told him, I want you to bring me a happy soul. It was a wonderful day. And that was the first time I had been to a mall in years. Metal yoga? Yes, metal yoga. Neon Bat 666, new single. Okay. I don't know who that is. Enjoyed the Typo Negative and Dystopia retrospectives. You've gotten, yeah, thank you so much. And hey, the Dystopia video was the biggest video I've done this year. It's got like 73,000 views. It was a wonderful video. It was a very strenuous and time-consuming video to make, but it was a fun video to make. Now, the day I uploaded it was not a fun day. It was a very stressful day because I was finishing the video, accidentally set my yard on fire in the process. Whatever. But I was glad to have that out. Anyway, back to the mall. So I get to the mall. That was the first time I've been to the mall in years, like any mall. It's like my shopping's done online and little stores usually. But this was Crabtree Mall. First time I've been there in years. And I'm walking around the mall aimlessly, not knowing where the hell I'm supposed to go. You know, back in my day, malls had directories and maps every 200 feet or so, just to let you know where you are and what stores are in the place and where you're supposed to go. Not this place. This place, you had to like scan a QR code on the wall and go to the website and they'll tell you what stores are there. And even then, it's just complicated to use the website, so it was like, well, fuck. I'm just going to keep walking until I smell food. We were supposed to be in the food court. So there I was, in all black, all made up, looking for my people in this crowded food court. All of a sudden, I see them. Couple tall figures in all black, wearing some makeup. We moved a few chairs together, met up with a few people, then wandered. We're gonna take pictures with Santa at 5! Oh, it was wonderful. Man, we had so many people giving us side eyes and giving us looks as we're walking by, sneaking pictures, giggling. There were people taking pictures and videos of us on the escalators. It felt like the old days, except that people were nice. You know, like, people forget this now, but, you know, 20 years ago, if you dress like that shit, you know, people be like, oh, your parents know you dress like that. It's like, yeah, bitch, fuck off. Suck my ass, fuck. But it was a feel-good day. I met a lot of really awesome people. Had a super inappropriate set of conversations with the Spencer's employees that night. Typical Spencer's visit. But yeah, you know, the point I'm trying to make is, you know, that club and this scene here, it deserved a video. And so I put together 3 years worth of footage that I've caught over time and compiled it into a little video, a little tribute video. So I also boosted the colors a little bit, so that way everything looks great on a TV. So if you guys haven't seen my last video, please go watch it. Open another tab, search for it, watch it after the stream. It is called How the North Carolina Got... it's called How the Wicked Witch... Fuck this! On to the next subject. Fuck the video. Okay, new comments. Haven't been to a mall since 2022. Indeed. They were back in black. Okay, the video title is How the Wicked Witch Made the North Carolina Goth Scene Less Miserable. Okay, go watch it, please. Now I can move on to another subject. How about those fucking idiots at Jake Monroe, Phil Labonte, and fucking Brian Gopner? You guys know where I'm going with this. You guys have probably seen it around. These fucking guys went on Tim Pool's channel, his Culture War podcast, and they're talking about how woke has infected metal, punk, and goth. They're talking about how the music was never political, how it isn't inherently left-leaning, any of these genres. Oh, fuck, here we go again. Phil Labonte from, which one was it? As I Lay Dying? I don't know. Hold on. Phil Labonte. What fucking band is he in? All That Remains. Yeah, another shit band. Yeah. I knew it was an A band. More like ass! Like the Angry Video Game Nerd. Ass! Fuck! And these fuckers are getting destroyed in some circles over it, as they should. Because they're over there talking about, oh, well, you know, music shouldn't be about politics. Oh. Yeah, of course, Black Sabbath were writing anti-war songs like War Pigs. They were writing songs like Hand of Doom. They were writing songs like Iron Man, which was about the environment. But let's talk about Napalm Death and the grindcore scene, like Extreme Noise Terror. Yeah, they were going up against fascism and all that other shit. You had bands like Testament going against the environmental destruction of the 80s. You had bands like Iron Maiden putting Margaret Thatcher on album covers and single covers, probably getting mauled by Eddie or wearing Maiden shirts, wherever the fuck it was they did. Yeah, politics have always been in metal. The problem in the last few years particularly is that people don't seem to agree where those politics lie. Okay? They think that just because some fucking bands in the 90s decided to be neo-Nazis or pose as neo-Nazis or whatever the fuck they were doing, they think that it's an acceptable part of metal. It isn't. You know, I get shit for this sometimes, but I don't listen to Nazi bands. I don't. I don't care how good the riffs are. Like, it crosses a personal boundary from me. Okay? I don't think it belongs in metal. And, you know, Rob Flynn was right all those years ago. He said something to the effect of, only in the metal community does shit like this get so brushed off. You know, he was referring to Phil Anselmo doing the salute at Dime Bash 2016. And he was right. I mean, he freaked out for a while about it, but, I mean, he was right in that initial response. Because metal and music in general, it's supposed to be a unified thing. You're supposed to feel safe. It's music for outsiders. You know, it's, you know, listening to an Obituary album isn't going to make me want to, I don't know, overthrow Town Hall or anything. But, like, It's unsafe music that's supposed to make outsiders feel safe, is what it is. Okay. And maybe I've noticed it a little more because in the goth spaces I've been hanging out with, they generally are more accepting towards the LGBT crowd and people of different races. There was that guy from Rip to Shreds. He did that video pretty recently on his experiences with racism in metal, and of course there are people out there who were tearing him apart over it. I'm not here to be edgy. I'm not here to be reactionary. Here's the thing, I don't know what his personal experiences have been. I have not experienced those things. I'm aware I have not experienced those things. And all these other people who say, oh, well, I as a black person went backstage to a metal show, people asked me if I was supposed to be there. You know, I've never had to experience that. So I'm not going to tell people what they have or haven't been through. But the idea is metal, alternative music in general, it's called alternative music for a reason. You know, we're going against the status quo. There's a lot of people being kidnapped in front of their children right now because of the color of their skin. Music is supposed to be an escape away from that shit. You know, that's, those are my thoughts on it. I know a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but you know what? They can eat my fuck. Smoke in your pack, dog. Did that earlier. There was shock value also. Oh, absolutely, Tim Olson. Shock value. So people kind of forget that the world in general used to be a lot more conservative and less open. Like, Cannibal Corpse album covers were considered not politically correct at the time they came out. Yeah, Tomb of the Mutilated was shocking. Like, we think it's funny now, but like back then that was new levels of shocking. So, you know, that was something that factored into it. And I guess at the time people were like, oh, we're going against the status quo, we're going against the grain. You know, a lot of people just didn't absorb the political aspect of it. And you gotta sometimes look at the context of when these things were created, like I mentioned with the Cannibal Corpse artworks. You know, and there have always been little outliers. I think with metal, inherently it's probably a left-leaning genre, although for some reason the politics are all over the place. Let's get off the subject. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Phil's side of the story is he kept calling him. You know, Phil's full of shit about everything. Fuck Phil. Gory as fuck, yes. He fucking changes his story about everything. Here's a question. What happens when PC becomes the system? Well, I think people just need to continue being individuals, I suppose, and not lean into groupthink so much. But, like, strive to be better. Strive to care about your fellow man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to preach to you. Fuck this subject. Let's get off the subject. People think extreme music automatically means extremely dark internet humor. It was always meant to be about self-expression, but some people are just gross. Yeah, absolutely. Like that Jake Monroe guy who did that fucking video on the podcast. He doesn't even listen to goth music. You know, he's a fucking grifter who's been a thorn in everybody's side for years. And lately mine, because he's talking shit about how the Nazis in black metal are like some normal thing. And it's like, no. The black metal scene have been trying to separate themselves from that shit for years. Don't perpetuate bullshit, you fuck. And I'll tell you something else. That fucking guy abused his ex-girlfriend, and both of them have made videos about it. Okay, like, she did a video explaining the situation. He made a video talking about, oh, well, I'm such a victim. Look at me. I'm so sad. Man, fuck that guy. Fuck you. Eat my ass, fuck. I spare. Hey Tony, any cool Christmas plans? Sit here and listen to music and I guess just talk on the phone with people. I don't know. But, I'll tell you a weird random thought that I've had lately. So my hair has been getting quite long. I've been taking better care of it. Been trimming the split ends off when I think to do it. And I got to thinking, sometimes I want t-shirts that have designs on the back. But my hair is so long that it's probably going to cover whatever design I wear anyway. So, what the fuck? Yeah. If your hair is really long, maybe the back design isn't worth the extra money. Little money-saving tip for you. You a fan of Christmas slashers? I saw, there was that movie that came out 2 years ago, I think. It was the one about the Santa Claus that gets drunk. Oh, season's beatings. Violent Night, that's what it was called. Yeah, that was funny. I'm gonna go, Tony, keep up the good content. Been giving you some shout-outs on Insta. Keep up the great music content. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, when Long Live the Kill comes out, you gotta check it out. You gotta buy a copy. Yep, that's right. We're gonna do physical media for Killbot and Gorgor Attack finally. And hey, if we sell enough CDs, I'll do some tapes. I don't know if... Anyway. Comedies that you like. Recently I watched Uncle Buck. The documentary on Uncle Buck came out... the documentary on John Candy came out on Amazon pretty recently, so it put me in the mood to watch some John Candy movies. Uncle Buck, of course, had me laughing my ass off. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles I've seen so many times that it was just static in the background while I played on my phone. It's one of those movies you watch it so many times that it kind of... it's supposed to be funny, but you're not laughing like you used to. Anchorman's the same way. I watched that movie to death. And now I know that it's funny when Vince Vaughn says, "Even the guy who can't think said something!" But I can't laugh anymore. I've seen it too many times. Poison Girl. I love Uncle Buck. Yep. Macaulay Culkin, he's been doing a lot of interviews lately. I think they're doing some sort of Home Alone movie tour where they're bringing the movie around and they're having Macaulay answer questions and do a fan panel and all that shit. Favorite movie of all time? Fight Club, although I hadn't seen it in years. Right behind it would be Evil Dead 2. Just for how fucking fun it is, And the way it was made, the little costumes, the mannerisms, and you notice new things about the Evil Dead movies the older you get, the more you watch them. For instance, the littlest thing kills basically anybody in the movie, but Bruce Campbell's character, he just gets tortured, played with, messed with. He really does carry all of those movies. And he doesn't really carry the first one until the later half of the movie, and then he becomes the main character, but yeah, there's a reason he's a legend. The Mighty Chin. Check out Brain Dead. Oh yeah, you mean Dead Alive in the United States? Really good movie. Really good movie. Very gory. May Credible. I've been marathoning, rewatching my old favorite movies. Do you ever do that? Sometimes I do. I've had to slow down on that lately because I'm trying to be more productive. But over the summer, I marathoned the Evil Dead movies. And pretty recently, I finished Buffy again. I started marathoning Buffy as sort of a slow process throughout the year. I must be a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. I visited Buffy's house. I have the Buffy coffee mug, Kiss the Librarian. I've met James Marsters at a convention. Hey, I auditioned to be in the reboot. I never heard from the people, but They were looking for people who would be extras or characters in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot, and I sent in a 30-second video. They wanted a video that had no graphics, nothing copyrighted, nothing in the background. They wanted me in 30 seconds to explain a favorite character, favorite episode, and why. And I said Spike. Just because his character arc is one of the greatest character arcs I've ever seen in a TV show. You know, like, he starts off as the villain, and then he's forced to change for reasons outside of his control. And so he can only attack other monsters without getting hurt. And then he legitimately wants to change because he falls in love with this woman that he can't have because he's soulless, a demon. And in the end, he saves everybody. You know, it's a fascinating arc to watch. And it's cool, the little things that you notice on rewatches that sort of tie into later events. And just little things. Annalee Metalhead. I love Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. It's a pretty good movie. The second one, Haunted Hills, I tried watching that one. The story was confusing. Like, you could tell it was budgeted, but the storyline was really confusing for me, so I didn't really like that one as much. I do love Miss Cassandra Peterson, though. She was in a few of the Cheech and Chong movies. Hey, it was Vampira's birthday a few days ago. I was trying to find the picture of me in front of Vampira's grave. I didn't find it in time, but yep. Vampira! Power Metal Bard. Power Metal Bard. Okay, hey, Kobot, was just listening to Human Equals Garbage. Greetings from Germany. Hey, thank you so much. Germans. Land of chocolate. Dystopia. Just one of those bands you can always go back to, you know? Doesn't matter how old you get. I can still resonate with a lot of the rage because, hey, there's a lot of things to be upset about in this day and age. You know, and if there was a time for dystopia to get back together, it would be now. I know it's probably never going to happen, but imagine all the shit those guys could write about today. And they would do it in a way that hits harder than a lot of the other bands that are making political music. God. The bass lines, the drum lines. WTVA Bro, are you a big fan of doom and stoner metal? Well, the album of the year for me is Castle Rat's album. They are sort of 70s sounding doom metal from New York City, or New York. Really good stuff. Pentagram, one of the heaviest shows I ever saw. Sleep, I was in the front row for that. That shit was wild. Just big giant wall of sound. For some stoner and doom metal, I kind of have to be in the mood to listen to it or be at home to listen to it, because the problem I run into sometimes, like, these bands will be great on album, but when you go see them live, they're kind of boring because they're just kind of staring at their feet the whole time, not doing anything. You know, if I'm going to see a band live, I need a little bit of excitement, you know? That's why I saw Lords of Acid 12 times. I am not going to see them as many times next year as I did this year. I saw them 7 times on that last tour. No, I think 2 might be enough for me next time. I don't want to overstay my welcome. But I love those people. They've been really cool to me, so it'll be cool to see them again. I can't wait to hear that next album. That shit's gonna rule. They got Oliver Adams back in the fold, producing. Ugh! It's gonna be like classic Lords of Acid. Pretty in Kink was awesome. So yeah, you know, even the new stuff's pretty good. Elvira is better than Vampira. Well, I mean, it depends on your perspective. Like, Elvira added the comedy element to it, but Vampira was the OG. Actually, Vampira sued Elvira for ripping off her act, and I don't remember the outcome of the case, but it didn't end like Vampira wanted. What's a band you loved growing up but hate now? Kiss. They kind of made me upset pretty recently. You know, I've defended them for many years when people have said, "Oh well, they're just a live act. They don't make music worth a shit." It's like the music oftentimes was actually pretty good. You know, sometimes you're in the mood for big, dumb, and loud, and that's what you want. You know you're not going to get Pink Floyd when you listen to Kiss. And yes, it is a great live show. I saw them 3 times. I had t-shirts. I owned the albums on many different formats. I have all the CDs up to Psycho Circus. I even got box sets and deluxe editions, but you know what? Something kind of flipped in me when I saw Tommy Thayer look at the camera and say, "Oh, well, politics, we try to stay out of politics, but Trump is doing a really good job." After all the shit he did this year, hearing him say that and seeing fucking Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, like, accept that award from that fucking dictator, fascist, Nazi, fuck! Yeah. I had a visceral negative reaction when I saw that. I feel so bad for the employees of the Kennedy Center because it was just a big hostile takeover in D.C. But, you know, Gene and Paul, and Gene Simmons especially, because his mom was in a damn concentration camp, he should be able to spot a fascist as second nature. He shouldn't be accepting awards like that. But when I saw that, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, you know, this band has done fucking stupid shit their entire career, and I excused it. This felt a little different. It's like, yeah, you know, there's the controversy about putting Tommy and Eric in Ace and Peter's makeup, and the fucking solo albums, as horrible as they were, and fucking mistreating Eric Carr, and lying to the fans, bullshitting the fans, using ghost writers and ghost musicians, and crediting Ace Frehley for playing on albums he didn't play on, and fucking... And everybody gives them shit for doing the overdubs and re-recording most of the Alive albums. You know, that part I can excuse to an extent. But, like... Then I remember stuff like the Terry Gross interview with Gene Simmons and how fucking obnoxious and sexist and disgusting he was. And here I am at 30 years old thinking back to all this stuff, and I'm like, you know, they never made any qualms about who they were and what they were about. A band that barely had any integrity, if any at all. And here they are, doing what they're doing in DC. Okay, is it stuck? I mean, it sucks, but such is life. There are other bands to listen to. I'm not going to lose sleep at night over it. Kind of feel like people these days need to be offended. I mean, people look for negativity in anything they do, and I try not to be negative if I can help it. A lot of times bad things happen to me that I can't control, and that sucks. But the thing about the bad things that happen outside your control, you can't control these things that happen. What you can control is how you respond to them. So, you could get angry, you could get upset, you could dissociate, whatever. But however you react is your choice of how to react. You know? So, Motley Crue wrote a song one time, said, "Don't go away mad, just go away." Well, here I am, Kiss, I'm just gonna go away. Anybody want to buy my Kiss albums? Mint condition, every single one of them, except for Asylum. But let's be honest, you're not going to listen to Asylum anyway. There's like 3 great songs on it, and the rest of it's trash. How do you feel about horror movie samples in metal? Hey, if you can do it, go for it. The problem I found is copyright issues, like with the labels, with DistroKid, with YouTube, whatever. Like, copyright is no joke. And that's part of the reason I've had to alter my videos so drastically over the years, is because, like, copyright stuff, you would think it would get easier and better as time goes on. Not really. It's stayed fucked up beyond belief. It begs for tragedy. Like that AC/DC video I put up a couple years ago, I tried to do a video on AC/DC's Big Balls, using little clips from the song, like making sure it adheres to fair use and all that other happy horse shit. Well, Sony copyright blocked the fucking thing, then they wanted the video to be taken down. So what I had to do, I had to come up with my own little facsimile of Big Balls, like a copyright safe cover, if you will, and re-upload the video with that, because that, like, there's a reason you don't see a whole lot of videos about AC/DC on YouTube. Like, legally, I should feel safe to do an AC/DC video, but I can't. Because you know, all these people want me to do these videos on these bands and these movies, and the problem is copyright stuff. It takes so much energy trying to fight that shit off. Because, like, it's hard enough to shoot the video, edit the video, come up with a perfect thumbnail, perfect title, upload it at the right time of day. Like, it demands a lot from you in order for the video to be a success. And then on top of that, you gotta worry about copyright issues. Are you shitting me? In 2025? Like, these YouTubers who do these reaction videos to music videos, and then they're like, oh, I got copyright claimed by Nuclear Blast. Yeah, that's what happens. And then on top of that, YouTube doesn't really do a good job of pushing the videos out to the subscribers. And it's not just me. A lot of people are feeling the squeeze, and on top of that, TikTok has opened up a 55-gallon drum of whoop ass all over YouTube. Alas. But, you know, I'm in it for the art. I'd love for the channel to eventually reach 100,000 subscribers. We will see if we can make that happen. Make credible. If you ever had to pitch your own movie series, what would the main premise be? Oh man, I've got so many of them. So this is a ballsy one, but how about one that takes on organized religion from the inside? So you see a church or a group of churches, community of churches maybe, and you have scandalous stuff going on the inside. Secret meetings, secret money, perhaps some inappropriate things going on with the pastors. And so somebody tries to report this, and instead of reporting it, it just gets buried. The people get switched around, transferred to different churches, whatever. It would be a pretty ballsy move to see a TV series tackle that, especially in today's age. But don't hold back. Like, really commit to it. Like, don't try to sanitize any of this shit for the modern generation. No. Show it for what it is. An evil empire. Full of fuck. What's the heaviest band you've heard? Grief was one of the first metal bands I've heard, and they remain the heaviest to me. Oh man, Grief are nuts. Now that's a band I've been wanting to do a video on since 2016. Maybe I'll get to it. We'll see. Again, it goes back to the whole working my ass off for the videos and then barely getting views for some of them. You know, there are videos I've worked on that took 1-2 days that got hundreds of thousands of views. And then there are videos I've spent weeks and months on that barely got any, like barely broke a couple thousand. You know, it's demotivating because I don't want to be a parody of myself. I don't want to put in lazy work. I don't want to put up bullshit videos that are going to become dated in 2 weeks. But on the other hand, I think also some of my videos in the past year or so, as great as they might have been, I think the subject matter at times got a bit heavy. Maybe a little too much. I wish that I didn't put myself out there as much as I did. There are a couple videos and a couple examples where I'm just like, why did I put that in a fucking YouTube video? So I'm hoping next year maybe I can get back to making some lighter, easier stuff. Like, even the dystopia video, as I was editing the fucking thing, it was like, man, this video is going to get so community claimed or content claimed or something, because I was talking about some heavy shit in that video. Like Dystopia song lyrics dealing with domestic violence, environmental impact, depression, killing yourself, all that other stuff. Like, that was a pretty heavy video. Like, because of the subject matter of Dystopia's music. Somehow I didn't get claimed or danged for it. And I didn't censor shit. I didn't say unalive. But I didn't get censored. You know, just, that's another thing that drives me fucking crazy about YouTube, is the amount of censorship and, you know, people having to blur words and use substitute words, and half the time I don't know what the fuck they're even saying or trying to say. It's like, come on, man. Anyway. Alright, let's get back to these comments, shall we? But I'll say something else about YouTube. It feels like with YouTube, it thrives on negativity now. Like, the reason my videos got kind of heavy in the past year or so is because it's just being sincere, you know? I don't want to be this toxic positivity person all the time, pretending to be happy when I'm not. Like, I'm not going to rip your heart out, but, like, I just, you know, I might have some real shit to say from time to time, if you know the life I've had. But on YouTube, like, go to your homepage on YouTube, scroll down, look what you're going to see, the titles of the videos. The day X died, the decline of this, X ruined this person's career, the decline of this, the death of that. So much negativity. Peace, everybody. Don't hurt anybody. Everybody should like everybody. I have lots of friends. Todd's my friend, and Mouse is my friend, and I'm my own friend, and everybody should be friends. Anyway. Alright, more of these comments. Let's get to these comments. I like the blue lighting, Killbot. Thank you. I got some black lights installed. This wall and this wall. Got the candles over here, and if I take this off, you can see the glowing mushrooms. And of course, underneath, I got the Sisters of Suffocation shirt. They were a cool death metal band from the Netherlands. They released 3 albums. Anyway. What is your favorite video that you've made? Well, see, Typo Negative Extended Edition, that's somewhere in the top 5. Like, there's the original version, then there's the extended version it fixes some factual inaccuracies and has a couple extra things in it. That was special. Let's see, Minefield of Metal was special. The Metalhead video was special, even though I kind of had a hard time making it. I rewatched that movie pretty recently. Still holds up. Still a really great movie. The Lords of Acid video I made last year, the one where I got to sing for them for 2 songs, that was one of my favorite videos I'd done because, first of all, it involved one of my favorite bands. Second of all, I was fulfilling a lifelong dream. I always wanted to perform, you know, musically, and who better to perform with than one of my favorite bands, even if it's just for 2 songs to fill in. You know, that night sort of planted the seeds in a lot of ways for things to happen. And Maurice fell in love with me that night. Like, he thought I was cool before then, I guess, because I gave him a t-shirt in Minneapolis, but that night he was all like, "Ah, you are amazing, you are amazing, I love you, I want to work with you." God, I miss him. It's gonna be nice to see him whenever they tour. A lot of YouTube videos deal with nonsense, drama, and overly opinionated BS. Absolutely. You know what I've been watching, actually? So, Queen Coke Francis. a drag queen that does little things to make fun of our favorite politicians who like to spout anti-gay stuff, anti-woman stuff. It's like, okay, so let's put these people in drag and see what happens, see how ridiculous they look. Or maybe there are already existing photos of those people in drag. Okay. Let's see what else. A lot of cannabis channels. A lot of cannabis channels. You know, just learning about different strains, learning about different laws, learning about the history of hemp, the things that people use it for, terpenes, the different effects of terpenes, vaporizers, and methods of consumption. You know, like dry herb vaporizers. That's the big thing that I switched to. I used glass for about 6 months, and I was so done with having to clean that fucking thing. I was like, okay, I want something that's easy to use, isn't gonna make me choke to death, and I don't have to clean so often. So, portable dry herb vaporizer, the Rogue 2 by Healthy Rips. Highly recommend it if you're into that type of thing. But that is something I'm going to have to lessen myself with, because if you use it too much, your productivity will fall. And also some other negative side effects come up, mainly mental, but like once in a while it's not an issue, but if you do it every day, it's just, it's fun until it isn't. Man, I went off on a fucking tangent there. Power Metal Bar. The bolt thrower video is probably my favorite stuff. Oh yeah, that's definitely in my top 10. Actually, Joe Bench, so this bolt thrower poster behind me, Joe Bench sent me this poster and a couple other things as a thank you for doing the video. So when you see this bolt thrower poster behind me in these videos, it's Joe Bench's blessing over me. Tony, stop being emotional. Make dumb videos. The YouTube overlords are waiting. Yeah, exactly. Like, I did that video, Why I Don't Drink. There was some heavy stuff in that one, which I warned people at the beginning. And still got shit for it, which, you know, I know I'm going to get shit for stuff like that, and that's fine. It comes with the territory. But, like, you know, you put yourself out there like that, and to read some of the comments people say, it just leaves you feeling kind of shitty. And then the other thing that I deal with is, and this has been for a long time, a lot of people, they want to befriend me or just suck up to me or fucking kiss my ass just to ride my coattails and ask me for favors and bug me for shit. Like people who want reviews of their album. Or people who want me to review their band, or people who want things from people and musicians I know, and some of these people I only hear from if they want something. There was a couple of years ago, this friend of mine that I used to have, her and I had been talking for years, on and off, and one day I finally met them in person. Her and her fiance at the time. Well, they got married, and I thought we were legitimately friends. When I met this guy, he gave me two t-shirts for his project. I was like, oh, thank you. I didn't think much of it at the time. I thought he was just being nice, giving me a gift because it was our first time meeting. But about a year passes, and he's been bugging me to review his band, review his albums, and I just didn't really feel like doing reviews at the time. They're boring to make, they're boring to watch, and also his project didn't have social media and didn't play live, so it wasn't really worth the time and effort for me to do a review for a band that has zero buzz. And he thought that my following was going to get him massive numbers, and it was like, dude, that is just not how that works. Well, he blew up at me one day for doing a ministry video, and not reviewing his band. Like, he wrote this big giant novel about it, talking about how I could be doing more for the scene, and I'm like the other YouTubers where we talk about the same bands over and over for cheap views. Cheap views? Do you know how long it takes for me to do some of these videos, man? You know, that just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I deal with that more with the metalheads than... Like, with that goes back to the goth thing, because, you know, I've been hanging out with the goths. It's been nice, because that's been my way of getting away from some of that. People bugging the shit out of me for favors and telling me I'm not doing enough for my scene. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you know how many people I've gotten into metal with my YouTube videos? Or just talking to them in general, like just waiting at the doctor's office. They're talking about my shirt, what's on my shirt. But with the golf club, it's like, you know, they didn't know me at the time, so it's like, hey, nobody can ask me for shit because they didn't know me at the time. And even now, a couple of years later, people are still not asking me for shit, and I love it. Now, I'm not intentionally trying to market myself towards that scene and that crowd, but unintentionally on Instagram and everywhere else, I'm getting more follows and more likes from the goths. It's been nice. So maybe the channel could be quietly and slowly rebranded as a Darkly Inclined channel. It's never been exclusively a metal channel. One of the first videos I did was on the damn Ramones. You know, my first video was on Dystopia. Some say they're sludge, some say they're metal, some say they're punk, some say they're crust. But, you know, I've always talked about electronic bands like Lords of Acid. I've talked about industrial bands like Skinny Puppy since the beginning, basically. You know, I have different interests. I kind of skirt the line between different subcultures and different music types, so what I'm saying is, Killbot is not exclusively a metal channel. But it will continue to be a metal channel. I will continue to talk about metal for as long as the channel goes. I've been on this thing for 90 minutes. Let's see how well this phone battery's doing. We're at 28%, and we have been going for 90 minutes, so... Let's see. Yep. You didn't make it. Okay, I don't know what's going on over here. With all the industrial videos you've made, it would only feel natural to see more goth. Well, I think there are already really great YouTubers who could do a better job at it at this point than I could. Like, I've done a couple goth videos here and there on goth bands. Like, that video where I visited Dave Brocky's grave, I was going to a Clan of Zymox show. I showed that in the video. The last video I did was on the Wicked Witch, the goth club. It just closed down. It was one of my favorite places in the world. You know, the video was made because it was a love letter to not just the club, but the scene, the music. I learned a lot, you know. I met a lot of really incredible people. I learned a lot about myself, you know. Like, it's amazing what music can do for you. And that's another thing, you know. Look, these idiots like Jake Monroe, they say, oh, goth is not a music-based subculture. Bullshit. It's a music-based subculture. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Oh, well, it's all about the fashion. Dressing in all black doesn't make you goth. It doesn't make you metal either. You know, people think, you know, Black Sabbath, they wore all black because, oh, well, they were Satanists. No, they were not Satanists, okay? Like, black is just a color. And colors, in the grand scheme of things, don't really mean anything, okay? But, you know, doing this video, it got me thinking about how music brought me together with a lot of people, you know? Agalloch fans, people I met up in Portland. Skinny Puppy fans. Best fan base I've dealt with. Of all the bands I've talked about on the channel over the years, easily my favorite fan base, because, like, I've met so many people over the course of those 8 shows that I went to that I still talk to years later. And we still meet up when we can if they're on the East Coast. And, you know, it was special sharing Skinny Puppy's final concerts. And, you know, just learning about each other. We all have similar interests. It's really nice. Is that an L7 poster in the background? Yes, it is. That is the flyer from when I saw them last year in Charlotte with Thelma and the Sleaze. I'm amazed that that actually showed up in the frame. And under it is a ghoul poster from the Dungeon Bastards cycle. Got Celtic Frost over here. Skinny Puppy, Tank Crimes, KMFDM. You probably can't see that, but... You know, this room embodies basically all the bands I like to listen to. We got Susie and The Cure on that wall, and right next to that is Obituary. Right under The Cure is the Lords of Acid. Got Skinny Puppy there, Agalloch there, Ghoul there, Nile there. You know, I don't stick to exclusively one genre. A lot of people think, oh, well, if you like metal, you can't like this and that. Bullshit. Like what you want, don't put a label on it. The world is too big, and there are so many possibilities. You know, I'm Tony. That's who I am. Just be an individual, folks. Did you see that Guar is going to do a United States tour? Yep, they're a touring machine. Let's see what other things we can talk about. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the internet and the downfalls of the internet. How about the amount of ads that have been on everything lately? Especially if you watch on a TV, like you watch the YouTube app on TV. Well, yeah, ads every 2 minutes basically. And if you're like me and you watch the videos kind of sped up a little bit, they show up a little more frequently because, well, you're speeding the videos up. It's like, oh, god damn it. But even on my phone now, it's like there's an ad every fucking 5 seconds. I can't stand it. Alright, so let's talk about Long Live the Kill a little bit. I'm going to throw a little surprise for all you people in here. We're going to play a minute of Long Live the Kill. Sorry. We're going to play a minute of The Rolling Mass. Hopefully this motherfucker doesn't. Whoa, 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 whoa. I forgot about that. Well, we're going to attempt it. Alright, so let's talk about Long Live the Kill. Oh. I forgot it does that. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to try to play this music and it's going to start feedbacking. I tried to do that one time and it sucked. Man, I was wanting to give you guys a fucking sneak peek of the next song that's coming out. And possibly another song I've got going on. There's this sort of dark wave-ish, industrial-ish chorus that I've come up with that I got to write a song around. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's like, okay, cool. And I'm trying to look into what it would take to organize my own goth night. There is a bookstore in my town that has an upstairs that can be rented out. And if I figure out some key elements, like, first of all, how to even organize the fucking thing, where to begin with, and how much it would cost to rent the space, like, theoretically, I could organize my own. Maybe it could serve as an in-between. For the Greensboro crowd who doesn't want to go to Raleigh, and the Raleigh crowd who don't want to drive to Greensboro, those are long drives, this would serve as an in-between. Maybe keep it DIY, you know, just bring a few lights, have a couple people with laptops spin, maybe myself spin. I wouldn't mind learning how to spin myself. And I could do something a little different. Like, the DJs here are pretty good all over the state. But, like, for my signature sound, I would want it to be just brooding the entire night. It would probably lean more into the industrial side of things. Like, I can go high energy, but I want it to be dark. you know. Gonna have some good stuff. Hey, Chris is here. Hey, how you doing? Glad you could finally make it. Check this out. We got Voodoo You glowing in the black light. Magic is in the feeling. I can make you do what I want you to. Making some ambient, ultra, avant-garde. That's cool. I did this interesting noise thing with the Hydrosun pretty recently. Not something I want to discuss publicly, but yeah. 2 a.m. over here, gonna hit the rock. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. You can do it with an acoustic live. Man, I'm not. Well, yeah, I guess I could. You know, it's been so long since I played the acoustic guitar. I hate acoustic guitars. I hate playing them. I hate recording them. And then you gotta deal with people who go like, oh, acoustic guitars are the only real guitars. Shit. You know, I've had to kind of let go of some of my musical limitations over the years. My little purities. Oh, you can only record this way. You can only do art a certain way. It's like, oh boy. I find that when you let go of a lot of those limitations, it frees you up to make more things. You could make it a funny comedy skit. Yeah, I could. Shit, that could be something I use to promote the album. Hey, anything for more sales. We want to sell as many as possible, don't we? Gorgots 5537. Hey man, I'm a longtime fan and I wanted to know what's your thoughts on the band Vital Remains. Oh, Glenn Bedden joined a good one with that one. I need to see them live. They came through a couple times, and for some reason, I just didn't go. But Vital Remains, you know, they're a fun band. What albums do I have on this computer? Vital. I don't have Vital Remains on here? What the fuck? I could swore I had Vital Remains on here. Fugazi, yeah. Metal Legion 666. Hey, how you doing? Looking at some of the other things we can talk about. Oh! So there was a goth night I went to pretty recently, but down the road was this chocolate shop. Okay, so gourmet chocolate imported from different countries. And I wanted a hot chocolate before I went to the goth night. So I walked into this place. Nobody was in the front of the business, so after about a few seconds, somebody came out from behind the curtain where the kitchen was. It was this lady in her 30s. She was the cashier. I was like, hey, how you doing? Well, I was all made up, had my face done and everything. Well, I leaned in to look at the glass cabinet to see the cookies that were in there. And when I leaned in, the manager, guy in his 50s, he came out from behind the curtain, didn't know that anybody was in the store. Well, he stopped in front of the glass cabinet that was on top of the one I was looking at. So I was like down here, he was up here. Well, at some point he looked through the glass, saw me with my made up face. He was like, ah! Scared the shit out of him. Yeah, I explained why I was made up. He was like, I didn't expect to see anybody there. Yeah, he didn't expect to see anybody there, but he saw my made up face. Fuck your goth night were the exact words he used. Yes, he was tipped. Anyway. Young Wind, happy holidays and love from Finland. Hey, Finland! The land of Swallow the Sun. I love Swallow the Sun. Hopefully they do another tour next year. I would love to see them again. Doom metal. Don't fall asleep. Are you into war metal like Blasphemy, Archgoat, or Beherit? I actually saw Archgoat live with Severe Torture, Primeval, Bloodbath. War metal, sometimes. Like I'm not deeply familiar with those bands, but a few of them I've heard and I like. And if I have the chance to go see them, I will go see them. We will all do it for the love of the metal. Alright. Are you into 90s metalcore like Marauder and All Out War? Hadn't heard those bands. Okay, well, I think in the next few minutes we gotta start wrapping things up because the phone battery is going low and we've been going for a while. So, it's been a hell of a year. I doubt it, but maybe I can try to have one last video out before the year's over. Hopefully next year is even better. And, yeah. I put out some good videos this year. Some of them got a lot of views, and some of them barely got any views. I put out some solid stuff, but the website's different. The world is different. Like, when I started this channel, it was a different place. And I was in a different place in life. You know, like I said, I turned 30 a couple weeks ago. I started doing stuff with the channel when I was 19, so... You know, I still enjoy doing it. It's just, you know, when I work hard on these videos, I want YouTube to do its job of pushing it out to people. Because the audience is there. And the audience is amazing. I love the audience to death. You know, it's just the platform. Like, until something else comes along, this is what we gotta make do with. And a lot of people deal with creator burnout. And hey, I've dealt with it. I'm probably still dealing with it. So that's just some things that have been on my mind lately. And I'd like to diversify my artistic output. Like I said, you know, there's more to me than just making videos. I'm also a musician. So I would like to take a stab into doing some music. And music under a different name. Like, Long Live the Kill is going to come out under the Killbot name. But this industrial thing that I'm brewing up, yeah, I'm still trying to come up with a name. But, yeah. I gotta go. See you later, Tony. Thank you. Gorgots. Unrelated, in this light and the makeup, you actually look like Ithrax from the black metal band Demons. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Happy to have stayed up and watched this stream. This year's been a roller coaster for me. Let's hope for something better. It really has. It really has. It's been terrible. Speaking of Swallow the Sun, seeing them with an impaled Nazarene on a cruise. Ooh, that's going to be good. Swallow the Sun is hard to beat. Yeah, so, for those who don't know, got Killbot shirts. You can buy them in the links under the video. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them on Bandcamp. You can also buy them directly from me if you have social media. Just hit me up with PayPal and or Venmo, and you should be good to go. I usually charge about $20 plus shipping. We can discuss shipping when we message. But, yeah, this has been going on for a while. It is now 8:15. So, let's wrap this up. Say our goodbyes and move on. Bye, everyone. Aw. Well, here is to a shit year that was 2025. Hopefully next year will be a fucking 100 times better. Talk to you soon. Miss you. Thank you. Goodbye, David. Thank you all for your continued viewership. Hopefully you all stick around for Long Live the Kill and buy the shit out of those CDs, because we're going to press some and it's going to be exciting and awesome. Heading out before I go, I want to thank you got me into a lot of bands. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Stream is coming to an end. We're saying our goodbyes. We need a CD art reveal soon. We'll get there. We'll get there. Poison Girl, bye. All right, well. People are signing off, so thank you all for joining. And grind on, my darlings. See you later.